Hey folks, in this video, I'm gonna be talking about the difference between working with a scanning vendor versus a scanning partner. These terms a lot of times sound interchangeable. They kind of are, they kind of aren't, but there are little differentiators that I'm gonna go over so you get a better idea of really which type of company you wanna work with for your particular project. So first, a partner, I might use terms like they or he, she, or it, kind of all as the same thing, meaning the company or maybe the individuals you're working with, like a sales rep throughout the process, but it's kind of all one and the same. Anyway, a partner is going to be more of an advisor. They'll be more advisory, more consultative, be more kind of working with you as sort of a team. Whereas a vendor is more transactional, kind of one and done. And I'm not saying any of these in a negative way. It's just sort of in a neutral way. It's just, this is what they are. So that's the high level. You have the partner, advisor, consultant of a sort, and then you have the vendor, more transactional. When I say consultant, kind of like legalese, when you work with folks, typically we're gonna be independent contractors. So let's say you're a government department, sometimes on contracts it says, hey, you're a consultant. That actually has a certain terminology in the legal world where we don't wanna be a consultant, we wanna be an independent contractor. So when I say consultative or a consultant, I mean, we're giving you advice and ideas and we're really helping you, but independent contractor in the legal sense, as if we're not part of your company, we're a separate entity, but we're working together to get a project done. Anyway, that aside, a company can be both a partner and a vendor. It depends on your situation. So BMI, our company, sometimes we work with people as a vendor. They have a project, we do project, it's quickly done, they go on their way, we never hear from them again. They just need something done, we take care of it, and they move on. That's fine. Many times we are more of a partner where we are working with someone on, we'll get into the types later, we're working with a company or a department or an organization, and we are more of a partner status because of the type of project and because of the relationship we have. So it's not like a company has to be either a vendor or a partner. They can be both, they can be neither. It just depends on the situation that you have when you contact a company and what you're looking for and the type of project and interaction that you're gonna have. So when you're working with a vendor, that was a more transactional scanning project, something like a smaller project. So using microfilm example, maybe you have 50 rolls of microfilm. That's gonna be something that's done quick, short contract, short scope of work, boom, it comes in, a couple weeks later, it's done, invoice goes out, project's over. It's kind of a one and done thing, short, simple, you move on. You don't need a lot of consultation and advice and really visions of how to move forward and fixing complexity. It's like you have microfilm, you get it to us, we scan it, give it back to you, you move on, everyone's happy, no big deal. That doesn't mean as that vendor for that specific project, oh, you're a vendor, they're terrible, it's a terrible company. No, it's just that transaction, that project was a vendor type relationship. Another way to look at it is, let's say you go to a restaurant or like a food court or something, you say, I don't want a 5-course meal. I don't want the chef pick where I'm gonna be here for 3 hours and they're gonna give me little teeny plates and it's just a long drawn out process and a bunch of pairings. I just want a hot dog. That's like a vendor relationship. A lot of times it's just that small project saying, I have an urge to eat a certain type of food. I want a hot dog. I'm gonna go find someone that can just give me a hot dog and move me on. On the other side, when you should be looking for a partner type relationship is when you have larger projects, more complex projects, longer term projects, or maybe even you have a project, but it could turn into multiple projects. You're trying to find the right person to work with, kind of this sort of pilot project that then it'll blossom into another relationship. That would be a reason to look for more of a partner type company or relationship, because then you can kind of plot and scheme together. You know, it's not just a, hey, I have this, we're gonna spend hours and hours going over things and then it's a $5,000 project and it's done. That's not where you wanna have this relationship. This would be something where it's like, all right, you have this multi-year project or this large, it's a $500,000 project, or I have these tons of records, or this one project's gonna start, it's gonna kind of steamroll into multiple projects. You wanna find somebody you can sit down and plot out a course where you're gonna have a relationship with them so that you're both looking out for each other's best interests. Of course, there's a monetary relationship, but that doesn't mean you can't be doing things for the benefit of both parties. You need something done, they provide that service, you work together to get that thing done and get paid for those services. That's the type of partner relationship that we enjoy with our clients as well. If you do have a project that you're thinking, I need a partner relationship, there are some things you should be looking out for, some key factors to consider. The first of which is going to be experience. That could be longevity, how long they've been in business. Longevity does not necessarily mean they're a great company, but it should, you can take it with a grain of salt, but being around for a long time typically means they've been successful. They have relationships with folks that keep coming back, they keep finding business. So having that experience just for being around a long time is one aspect of experience. The other part is how many projects they've worked on. It's not just the total number, because every project is different in a way, but How many have they worked on total? Also, how many have they worked on with similar organizations to yours? So let's say you are a building department. How many building departments have they worked with? Also, how many building departments with similar project sizes have they worked on? How many building departments have they worked on with certain types of material like microfilm or microfiche or plan sets or permits, whatever it is this company the right one for me to become a partner with as we move forward on my particular project? So that's experience. Then there's resources. Do they have, of course, there's the physical resources, like do they have the machines? Do they have the software? Do they have the technology to do the project? As a scanning company, they should, but some scanning companies are different than others. Maybe you have a massive project. You have 50,000 microfilm rolls you need done in 6 months. Do they have the capacity to do that? Do they have the number of people? Do they have the number of machines? Do they have the processing power to do it? So those are the types of resources you're looking for. Also, the knowledge resources. Do they have the people and the team that can figure out something when it pops up? Can they figure out an issue? Can they solve problems? Can they come up with a solution to things that you need that aren't necessarily off the shelf or simple to do or just kind of typical, let's say? So it's not just the physical and personnel resources, but also the brain power of can they do what you need to do, work with you, and come up with the best solution for what you need for your project. And that's that back and forth relationship that you're going to have with a partner. Is you can talk to multiple people in their company. You're going to be working with multiple aspects of their company, the different departments like software team, project team, corporate folks, the sales. You're going to be working with everyone, and you're going to have those relationships, and you're going to meet people and say, they do have the capability to do this because I've talked to them. They've described this to me. I've had these meetings. I've talked with the security officer. I know our stuff is safe because I visited and they showed me this. That's a type of partner relationship that you're not going to get with a vendor transactional relationship. Speaking about security, do they have the security to protect your records? Even if you don't have confidential or sensitive data, these are your records. You want to know that they're safe. If you're sending 500 boxes to us, you want to know they're protected. So they have the physical security to protect your records, make sure people aren't just wandering in the building, or if a fire happens, are there sprinkler systems? Is there a fire department close by or police department close by if someone does try to break in? What's their process for letting people in? What's their process for having visitors? Who can go in certain areas? Then you have the digital aspect of security. Who's allowed to be part of your project? Who can see how's the data transmitted once it's digitized? How's it protected when it's at rest? What's the server system like? What's the hosting platform like? All of these things need to tie in because these are your records and you want them protected. Then there's communication. Primarily, you're going to be communicating with your sales rep, but you're also likely going to be communicating, again, we're talking about the partner relationship. You're going to be communicating with the project manager. You're going to be communicating probably some executive folks or billing folks or transportation folks. You want to make sure their communication is not necessarily immediate. You send an email and a minute later you get one back, but they are quick, they're rapid in getting back, so you're not waiting multiple days for an answer for something. Or if you call, does someone actually pick up? You can actually speak to someone. Many companies just go through constant, press 1, press 5, press 7. It takes 5 minutes to even get on the phone with someone. If you work with BMI, you're gonna be talking to someone within about 2 rings. So we wanna have that open communication with you because we wanna have clients that trust us and know they can get in touch with us when there's an issue, when there's not an issue, they have a question about billing, they just wanna talk to someone about another shipment going out or coming in or whatever it is. Having that open and quick communication so you're not kind of going blind through your project. You want to be updated and know what's going on because they're your materials. At the end of the day, we're working for you. And this is my favorite factor. It's not one that's really quantifiable. It's qualitative, I guess you'd say. I call it the warm and fuzzy factor. And what that means is you could be talking to a company that has everything in line. They have security in place, they're audited, they can show you they've worked with 500 people just like you, exact same projects with the same types of material. They know they can do the job for you. They have the resources to do it. They're good communicators, but you just have a weird feeling about them. You don't know why, but there's a weird feeling. That's what I call the warm and fuzzy factor because there's really not a great way to explain. I'm sure at some point in your life, you just had some weird feeling about something. You're like, I don't know why, this just doesn't feel right. That's important. You may want to, of course, try to dive and find out why you're getting that feeling, but you should recognize it. On the flip side, let's say everything's in place or maybe there's a couple things like, hey, they could be better at communication, but they're as good as I need them to be. They're not bad. They're just not, the best of the best. And their experiences, no, they haven't done 1,000 projects just like mine, but they've done 15 of them and they're going to do a good job. But you just have that really good feeling about you have a connection with them. You know they're going to do a good job and you have that warm and fuzzy feeling. it's something to look for or something to pay attention to. Can't say it's gonna be right or wrong. It's just, you should keep an eye out. If the hackles go up, you think something's weird here, look into it a little more, make sure you're making the right decision. But the warm and fuzzy is something you should absolutely pay attention to as you take into account the other factors as well. All right, wrapping this up, I'm gonna just talk about how a scanning partner adds value beyond basic digitization services. Basically, why does that partner add value compared to just say, even if it's a large project, I just need a vendor to do this, just take my stuff, digitize it, move on. Well, the partner is typically a long-term relationship. So many of our clients we've worked with for multiple years, some even we've been working with for decades. And the benefit of that is you get to know one another. You create relationships where it's much easier to get new projects moving. If something comes up during a project, like there needs to be a change order or some weird thing pops up and needs to be a price adjustment or a scope adjustment, it's just you've been working together for a while on multiple projects. You trust each other, so it makes things move quicker. There are less obstacles to getting things done. Again, a new project pops up. Let's say, hey, I found so-and-so number of boxes and it's a $90,000 project. You're not necessarily gonna have to go through some long drawn out process to get it moving because you already know each other. They trust you. They've done projects. They've seen pricing. They already have talked to other companies in the past. And it's like, no, we know what we're getting. We trust you. We're gonna do this. We worked with you for years. We'll get the PO and we'll move forward. It just streamlines a lot of the work that goes into larger projects, multiple projects, changes and things of that sort. So it's just an easier working relationship for the mutual benefit of BMI or whoever you're working with and you. I said it multiple times just now, but there's that established trust, but also there's even more transparency as you move along, as you work together longer. There's just more transparency about, hey, this came up and listen, I know you want to do this. I don't think that's a good idea. You should be doing this. And then you work out what to do moving forward. Or, hey, I'm gonna give you a heads up. Maybe it's from your side. The finance people don't like A, B, and C, so we're gonna need to go over C, D, and F, whatever it is. And you just have that open communication, that open transparency to make sure that things continue on smoothly. Bumps will always come up in any relationship, but it's that ability to trust each other and work together to get over those bumps and continue moving on to get the work done. Tied right into that is the knowledge that it's a win-win relationship. Again, you're working together. You're asking for a service. We're providing a service. Of course, we're getting paid for it, but you're paying us to do something you don't want to do or that's going to help your organization. So it is a win-win relationship and you both know that. So you're not kind of trying to undercut each other, say, hey, I'm looking for the lowest price just because it's the lowest price. I know you're gonna do a good job. We're working for you. Could I find something lower, cheaper? Sure, but maybe they're not as good or something happens and I'm kind of stuck. Whatever the situation is, you know it's a win-win relationship because you've been doing this for a while and you know that it's for the mutual benefit, as I said before. It's a trust, it's a win-win relationship. And that ties into looking out for each other's best interest, even if that means recommending someone that's, let's say, not BMI. When you have a long-term relationship and you've done multiple projects, there's a large project that's been kind of ongoing. If things come up that are outside of our scope of capabilities, because there's that trust, because there's that transparency, because we have that partner relationship, we're not afraid to recommend someone else for a particular aspect of doing something that either A, we'd have to charge maybe significantly more for it because it's not our core line of work. It's not really something we're good at or that we do often. So we can recommend someone else knowing that you're not gonna say, you can't do this. I'm just gonna cut you off because you can't do completely everything I need to do whenever it comes up. It's okay, hey, we found someone, you should contact them for this, or you can go through us and we'll contact them, we'll help you do that. We know that we're looking out for your best interest because we want you to be successful and we want to keep that relationship going. So those are all the aspects of a partner relationship that you wouldn't get with a vendor relationship. And those are the benefits you can look for when you find someone that you trust and you have that warm fuzzy you can move forward with on a large project, multiple projects, or whatever you're looking to do in the future. Now that we've gone through vendor versus partner relationships and what you can get, the benefits of a partner relationship, if it makes sense to have one, when you're looking for companies, you should be asking them quite a number of questions to, again, kind of do that research, make sure there's a communication, get that warm fuzzy feeling. So what I'm linking here is the first video of a series of 3. It's about vetting questions you can ask companies when you're looking to start that digitization relationship. So check that out. It's a 3-part series, 5 questions in each video. Also, if you want to reach out to us, go ahead and click the link that I'm going to put in the comments below. I'll pin it to the top. And thanks for watching.